Hello family, I'm Barber and I'm a real alcoholic. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Atlanta Step Up Society book study. The name of our book study is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. Let's open with a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. Serenity Prayer. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Tonight, we're going to study the chapter called Too Wise. It's on page 104. But first thing I want to do is take a few minutes and talk about one of our group members. Ken is in the hospital. Ken M. is in the hospital. And he had major surgery. And he's been there about a week. So I thought about how we as a group can help him. So there's a couple things that I would like to do. But this is just me. You don't have to participate if it ain't in you. So this is not a mandatory, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not a command or it's not a directive. But I remember when I was in the military and I was a parachuter, and the drill instructor used to tell us, they say, look, when you jump out this airplane, you look up, right? Make sure you don't see no clouds in that chute. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, if you see some clouds, some holes in there, I suggest you pull that ripcord on that secondary one to save your life. So it's kind of like in here. I think we need to do something for Ken, because you know Ken, he has the most giving heart of anybody I ever met. And he helped a lot of recovering alcoholics and addicts throughout his years. And I was just thinking, like, maybe when we pass the basket around, we put a little extra into it. You know, we can take it up there and give it to him tomorrow. And I also was thinking about prayer. And I've been doing a lot of prayer for him. And I hear people all the time, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you. And that's okay. In the traditional sense, it's okay. But now you don't have to do this, but I was thinking maybe we can have maybe more of like a spiritual prayer from a spirituality standpoint. You know, in our society, we have, you know, science has told us that, psychology has told us that there's a left side brain and a right side brain. The left side brain really deals with science, math, you know what I'm trying to say, adding and subtracting and objects and all this and that, you know, mechanics and all this, intellect and all that. Well, the right side brain is more creative. It's more spiritual. It deals with more emotions like love, you know, understanding, creating. And so there's two sides. But in our society, we live in a left side society. Facebook and Twitter, and that's all that left side. You know, in college, left side. And as alcoholics and addicts, we got into this program being strictly left-sided people. That's why we come in here and they say we spiritually bankrupt. Our right side didn't even exist. It was dominated by the left side. But as we come in here, we start becoming honest, you know what I mean? Working on ourselves. We start developing like a spirituality side, the right side brain. So I was thinking, maybe this group, if you ever been around Ken for a long period of time, or just a short period of time, if you had a good experience with him, or know him in such a way, I think that maybe we could do a spiritual prayer where maybe we can use our imagination, our mind to help heal. So, and I do this with everybody. I do this in this group. I do anytime I know someone's sick, or if they have financial problems or looking for a job. I would like go home at night when I start my prayer, when I get up in the morning, and I will put this person in my mind, and I would act or make believe or pretend that they got it, and they're telling me that it's in existence, and I will hold on to that. I will keep it in my mind, even if I can't see it. I know it's there, and I will keep it in my mind, and I will believe that and hold on to it, and whatever the incubation time is, from the time I do that till it could be a week, it could be instantly, it could be a month. That person usually called me and say, "Man, I got what I thought I wanted. I got that job." I said, "Yeah, you've been had the job." You know what I'm saying? So what I think I'd like to do is, like, maybe if you got experience with Ken or something, let's put it in our mind that he's well. That's faith. Seeing it from the end. Believing that everything's okay. That, you know, you see him back in here. Everything is working well. That he's healthy. You know, back to scratching off across the street with the numbers. You know what I mean? Back with his stories. Always volunteered. That's what I'm going to do. And I always was told, if two or more agree, I'm in the midst. What are we agreeing on? We're agreeing on some healing tonight. That's how we do it. That's a spiritual prayer. That makes sense? Instead of a begging prayer.
There you go. That's right.
So I'm going to do it, and I've been doing it, and I don't know, this is the first time I ever asked for help. How is that? For help.
Found, sir.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to tonight, chapter 8, to wise. I don't know why I want to say the wise, but it don't say that. It say too wise. Now I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna read the footnotes at the bottom, and then I'm gonna let Paul come in and do what he usually do. All right. Chapter 8, too wise. Look down on the bottom. It says, written in 1939, when there were few women in AA. This chapter assumes that the alcoholic in the home is likely to be the husband. So when they're writing this, you know, we're back in 1939, so it was probably more men alcoholics that was out in the open than females. Okay? It says, but many of the suggestions given here may be adapted to help the person who lives with a woman alcoholic, whether she is still drinking or is recovering in AA. A further source of help is noted on page 121. So what they're saying is that the suggestions that they're going to give will help a man or someone else that's living with an alcoholic that's drinking, or someone who's in recovery. Then we're going to go to page 121. And down at the bottom, got another footnote. It says, the Fellowship of Al-Anon family groups was formed about 13 years after this chapter was written. So when they wrote the chapter, put the chapter in the book, 13 years later, we get Al-Anon. And everybody's familiar with Al-Anon because this city has a lot of Al-Anon meetings. Okay? Though it is entirely separate from Alcoholics Anonymous, it uses the general principles of the AA program as a guide for husband, wives, relatives, friends, and others close to alcoholics. So they're saying that the general principle, we know that's the 12 steps. They're basically saying that the 12 steps for Al-Anon came from the Alcoholics Anonymous 12 step, but everybody can use it. That's how they broke it down. You take all the commas out you want and just say everybody can use and will gain something positive from the 12-step lifestyle. All right. Then it says that the foregoing pages, though addressed only to the wise, indicate the problems such people may face. Alateen for teenage children of alcoholics is a part of Al-Anon. I didn't know that until I was studying today. The Alateen is a part of Al-Anon. Then it goes on, if there is no Al-Anon listing in your local telephone book, you may obtain further information on Al-Anon Alateen family groups by writing to its World Service Office, then they get an address. Or you can just go on the internet here. But I think it is very important that we open our minds and realize that alcoholics, or the illness of alcoholics, is a family thing. It affects more than us. And I'm a victim of a person who thought that I was only hurting myself. I really believe that. People would say, oh, you hurting this person, you're hurting your children, and I'm only hurting myself. They all right. Buddy over there, you know, let him do it. You know, I was sick, but I did not realize how I affected, you know, other people until I got clean and sober. And when you start making amends, you're going to really realize it real fast. When you start doing the step work, things are a lot better. They're so good now that I have to keep improving to make it better. All right. Okay, let's go back to page 104. All right, Paul.
To wives, with few exceptions, our book thus far has spoken of men. But what we have said applies quite as much to women. Our activities in behalf of women who drink are on the increase. There is every evidence that women regain their health as readily as men if they try our suggestions.
All right. With few exceptions, our book is thus far spoken of men. You know that the structure of when they say men, we're not just talking about gender. You know, it's female or male. All right. So it's very important that we understand that the alcoholic in the family could be male or female. All right. Then it goes on to say that, but what we have said applies quite as much to women. And I'm going to go down here where it says, there is evidence that women regain their health as readily as men if they try the 12 steps. Suggestions being the 12 steps. And you know, we hear this all the time. Women do recover. Women do recover. The next one.
But for every man who drinks, others are involved. The wife who trembles in fear of the next debauch, the mother and father who see their son wasting away.
But for every man who drinks, others are involved. That's what I was saying earlier. This illness or disease affects everyone. Everyone in your family. It affects your relatives. It affects the employers. It affects everybody. And for your immediate family, for me, for my immediate family, I used to keep them on, like I call that, emotional roller coaster. You know, I would be sober for a minute, few days, couple of weeks or something. They would get happy. I'd take my role as the head of the house and doing what I'm supposed to do. I might plan a nice outing for the family, or let's go to the zoo, or let's go visit grandma, you know, and everybody all happy. Then their emotions rising, they going up, you know, feeling good about themselves. Then here comes the time to go. No show me. Go back down. So I will keep them on what I call an emotional roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. Right? I did not realize that until I came around you guys. and I start hearing you guys share about the experiences you was having trying to get back with your family. Alright, it says, the wife who trembles in fear of the next spree. All that word debauch means is the next spree. And it don't have to be drinking. It can be sex, blowing the money, you know what I'm trying to say, setting the house on fire, going out, like one of my pet peeves, parking the car somewhere and getting drunk and don't know where the car is no more. Police stations, telephone ringing. You know, these trembles in fear. I have a relative that told me that when the other relative passed, she was sad to say, but she had some relief knowing that the telephone ain't gonna ring in the wee mornings of the, you know, early part of the mornings or night with something bad or police on the other end. So a lot of people who are close to us live with this fear every night when they go to sleep of that phone ringing. That's just an example. It's an endless state of examples, you know what I'm trying to say? But that is one of them, all right? And they live in fear. The mother or father who sees their son wasting away. That was one of the reasons I got really in touch with the illness of the disease and how it affects the mind and the body, you know, or the disease of addiction. Because we suffer from a mental obsession and a physical allergy. It's an allergy. If I put any drink or drug into my system, my body craves. The allergy is a craving beyond my mental control. So my body will start craving for more alcohol or more drugs. And when they say beyond my mental control, that's telling me that my mind can't stop me from geeking. My mind cannot stop me from drinking. I can't go and drink a 6-pack or 2 or 3 beers and say, I'm gonna quit now. All right, you got control over it, Rob. You can stop and go the other way. My mind cannot stop me from using. That renders or makes me powerless. When your own mind, the mind that God gave you for creation, to be able to move a mountain. Einstein said he can use his mind to shift the stars. We have the power of creation in our mind that's God-given and can't even stop drinking. Now that's spiritually bankrupt. You can't do it. I don't care how smart you are, how much education you have, how big of a con man you are. Take a drink and see what you are. That's the end. That's it. So mothers and fathers, they see their sons and daughters wasting away their life. And what really got me really focused on disease of addiction was the fact that I understand it, how it works. But my mother and my father, I ain't gonna put my father in because he was like me. My mother and grandmother who would pray night after night with the ignorance of the disease of addiction, and they would blame themselves. They would look at themselves and say, what did I do wrong? That my son or my daughter is acting like this. when my sister have kids and we from the same family and their kids are not doing this. Or I might have 4 kids, 3 is 3, and this one right here, what did I go wrong?
Yeah.
You know, they will blame themselves. Well, the ignorance of it is not realizing that it's an illness. It's a disease. Now, if you put it out like that, then maybe we can give them some kind of relief that they don't have to blame themselves for what we're doing. Maybe they could change the prayer. You know what I'm trying to say? Hope that they find some help to get rid of this illness. So that's why I wanted to start the book study, and that's what got me back into this. You know what I'm trying to say? And I want every grandmother, every mother, every father around the entire world to understand it's not your fault. You got people with millions and millions and billions of dollars. They got a person in that family that's just like you and I. Money can't buy sobriety. And you don't think they asked, I done gave this child everything that money could buy. Then they was 7 years old, I bought him a Mercedes-Benz. You know, they didn't have to walk to school. I sent them in the jet, the company jet. I would go out and buy the whole island for them. The people like that. And they still take 2 drinks and off to the razor. I'm swam back to shore to get some more. You don't think them people realize that? It's not their fault. It's an illness. Alright, next one.
Among us are wives, relatives, and friends whose problem has been solved, as well as some who have not yet found a happy solution. We want the wives of Alcoholics Anonymous to address the wives of men who drink too much. What they say will apply to nearly everyone bound by ties of blood or affection to an alcoholic.
Alright, now you can change the flavor a little bit. Among us are wives, relatives, and friends whose problem have been solved. So they're saying that we're a group of women, you know what I'm trying to say, relatives and friends who live with an alcoholic, or dated an alcoholic, or was a relative of an alcoholic whose problem has been solved. They might not never had a drink in their life, but they saying their problems have been solved. As well as some, it's the second group, who have not yet found a happy solution. They in here too, and they're still in the problem. Alright. We want the wives of Alcoholics Anonymous to address the wives of men who drink too much. So they're going to give us some information. They're going to talk to women who still are in the bounds of the disease, in the grip of the insanity, you know. And what they say will apply to nearly everyone bound by ties of blood or affection to an alcoholic. Let's just talk about being in the solution versus being in the problem. All right? In the 12 steps, or our program, I like to say that we learn to rise above our problems. I have problems in my life, but it's not the same problems I had 10 years ago. I learned to rise above my problem. The question is, can you live? Now I know some I can look in the eyes and tell you the one who know and the one who don't know by just looking out here. I can honestly tell you, you can rise above your problems. You can live a problem-free life. Even though things happen, you don't have to be enmeshed in it. You learn how to get beyond it, like instantly, like it's intuitive. I can't go there. You know? Yeah. And in fact, You get so good at it, you train your mind so good at it, that it don't even register no more. It don't even register no more. I was telling the guys in the program that, let's just say, I'm going to use a role play. Let's just say, like today, or yesterday, because I know you're here right now. You go to work, or whatever you want to do. You come home, or go where you're going to go, you know, where you're going to spend the night. Go home, and you get there, you pull up a chair, or whatever, you want to take a rest. You kind of just lay down, sit down, take your shoes off, get comfortable, because you've been out all day. And around, I'm going to use the last few days here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's been cold. Really, way record-breaking coldness. 6 degrees in the morning. 12 o'clock, it's 7 degrees. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's been cold. So you can put your mind in the settle like getting home to a warm house and relax. Take your shoes off, just sit down and relax. And you start reminiscing or thinking about the day. A lot of people, I want to use the word most, but I'm just going to say a lot of people go home and they kick the shoes off and get warm and they start thinking, boy, I had a rough day today. If that boss, boy, I don't know. That employee over there that's working with me, I can't take it. Or I know some of my guys, and they be like, man, we went to that donation and that lady did act crazy because I want to take her old stupid sofa. You know, they be thinking like that. Oh man, this has been a hard one today. The bill collector been calling. So you sit down, you get comfortable. Then you put yourself in the problems. Yeah, get water in the problem. How bad life is. How somebody mistreated you. How bad it feel. You still in the problem. Yeah. In fact, you took the problems that was out there, brought them home, and expanded them. So now you can really dwell on it. You know what I'm trying to say? Put your mind into it. You just expanded that whole problem. Then you're going to go to bed with it and wake up the next day expecting a happy day. Expecting a peaceful day. It's humanly impossible. You are the problem. Or you can rise above it. Yeah. You can be like these two groups. One that has the problem solved and one that's unhappy. Alright? So you can go home, learn this, practice it. You can't just live in recovery off the words on the page. You got to put this stuff in application. I told you before, I know people that know the book better than me. But I wouldn't walk across the street with them. Or you can go home, cold, kick your shoes off, sit down, relax. Today's been a one grateful day. I'm so grateful. You can use gratitude. I'm so grateful that I had a warm heat in my house. I'm grateful for the job I have. You can just look around. I'm grateful for this closet. I'm grateful that my clothes are clean. I got a washing machine here. I'm thankful that I'm in recovery. Or you can even go bigger. You can say, man, I was thinking about Ken, and I just remember all the good things he put into the world. Yeah. I'm grateful that he's healed. I'm grateful that everything is going good and he's home with his family. You know? You can sit there and you can be in the solution. The choice is yours. Either you're in the problem or you're in the solution. Now what these wise, getting back to the wise, what they're saying, I know for a fact that people in Al-Anon white husbands or significant others, they're still using. The sobriety and the 12 steps is for them. Not for us. That makes sense? They learn how to do the spiritual work. That means they rise above the problem, which is us. Or anything else. It's going to expand. It's going to be more than us. But they're trying to get their life back in order. With or without me or you. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong. But if they're working on the 12 steps, I know for a fact when they get to step 4, it's about them. It ain't about me. So they have to be working on themselves to rise above the problem. That makes sense? All right. Do the next one as wives.
As wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. We want to analyze the mistakes we have made. We want to leave you with a feeling that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness is too great to be overcome.
Man, that brings chills to my body. As wives of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, after studying this, and I don't want to go ahead. Our family, and we got the chapter on families, you know what I'm trying to say? But our significant others, even though they might not be alcoholics like us, they went through a lot. You know, we got to take our hat off, you know what I'm trying to say? They went, seemed like to me, my relatives and significant others and people that were close to me, they had it worse than I did. By loving me. Because I sure wasn't thinking about all these emotions and stuff we getting ready to go through. I ain't feel none of that. You know, I remember my father was an alcoholic too. Before he passed, he had like 10 years. He was in our program. Y'all go up to All Saints up there? My father was a member of that group. And I remember, like on my 40th birthday, I'll never forget this. Now, my father was a stone alcoholic. And I think I told this story before, and my mother had went through all the pictures from my, you know, that she had of my life. And she made a photo album of me from infant all the way up and gave it to me as a 40th birthday present. So she had all these pictures year to year, she had all year by year, you know, from a little boy all the way up, me and my brother Terry. So my mother and father divorced, you know. So one day my father was over my house and he said, I was looking at it, he said, what you got there? I said, oh, Mom, she put this book together. And he was in it, you know, he was my father. So he started looking, he went through each one. Can I curse y'all? One time. I told you I wasn't going to do that. So this goes around the world, you know what I'm saying? So I had to have permission to curse. But I won't be like that in the morning when y'all come in here all messed up. So my father was going through all them pages, he was just looking. I mean, like an hour, I just watched him. He studied each one of those pictures. And he was in quite a few. And my little brother was too, you know. Then when my sister was born, she was in it. And my last brother went, you know. He looked at me, he said, you know what? He was an alcoholic, right? He said, I don't remember none of this shit. He missed. That man missed the entire life of his family. That's deep, ain't it? He ain't remember none of it. He was gone. So the suffering that we went through, he didn't go through. He was in oblivion. Total blackout, 40 years. That's deep. As a wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. They're finna go inside now. We want to analyze mistakes we have made. They're going to tell us about the mistakes that they made by being with us. We want to leave you with the feeling that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness too great to be overcome. Now, if I had to just go back through my life and you guys go back through your life, for them to say that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness too great to overcome, that's only by the grace of God.
Yes, sir.
Only by the grace of God, Al-Anon, Al-Ateen, and the 12 steps. God, Lord knows if they hung around us, they suffered.
We have traveled a rocky road. There is no mistake about that. We have had long rendezvous with hurt pride, frustration, self-pity, misunderstanding, and fear. These are not pleasant companions. We have been driven to maudlin sympathy, to bitter resentment. Some of us veered from extreme to extreme, ever hoping that one day our loved ones would be themselves once more.
Get deeper and deeper. They say, we have traveled a rocky road. There's no mistake about that. I mean, they had some hard times. We have had long rendezvous. That's visits, experiences, or affairs. They meet up, at a place. And when I was in the military, we'd have rendezvous, right? Points. Where everybody would go out and do this, and then if we had to have an attack or something like that, we all knew back where to gather up at one place. And it might be 3 or 4 rendezvous points. You know what I'm trying to say? And you get back and you check in, and then you do a head count, make sure everybody's there or alive or whatever the situation might be. Well, they're saying that we have had long rendezvous. Now, we used to just stay there shortly, right? They had long rendezvous with, they would meet or, let's just say have an affair. Right? Like, an affair. They would have an affair or experience with hurt pride, frustration. They hugging these emotions. Self-pity, misunderstanding, and fear. These are not pleasant companionships. That's deep. They were having all these emotions, negative emotions, that usually at the bottom of the emotional scale that keep you sick. This is not happy, joyous, and free things they talking about. They're at the bottom end of the emotional scale. The sick part. And they said that they were companions. They had relationships with them. Now, as a good alcoholic that I was, I couldn't write that sentence. Because I ain't have none of that.
None of that.
So that's a true statement that we medicate our emotions. We drink to hide from this stuff, to cover it up, to push it down. Because I know me, I don't know about y'all, I didn't see none of that when I was using. And if I did see anything, it was somebody else. It wasn't me. I'll be quick to say if she wasn't doing what she wasn't doing, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But sad to say, people who don't do the 12 steps still say that clean and sober. Yeah, he wouldn't have did that, I wouldn't do this. How much time you got? 15 years. It's true. We have been driven to maudlin as overly emotional sympathy. Let's talk about sympathy for a minute. I just used the AA little dictionary. It says it's an understanding between persons. Awareness. It says an appreciation of the needs feelings, problems, and views of others. So they said that we have been overly emotional when it comes to the needs of others. Kind of like codependency. You know what I'm trying to say? Caring for others when they're not even trying to care for themselves. You know? Some of y'all women know about that, and they got to talk about women now. Caring for somebody, you are working and doing everything, they on the couch. Playing Xbox that you bought for your kid. You didn't even know you had 2 kids in there. And then when you try to pull up out of it, you start having this sympathy. To bitter resentment is all we're going to end up with in what? Bitter resentment. And the female always going to tell you, I don't care what it is. Her name on the lease? You got to go. It's always going to come up. And that's just a little humor. Some of us veer from extreme to extreme, ever hoping that one day our loved ones will be themselves once more. Have you ever been, they are so, these women are explaining how they felt, how their emotions were by dealing with us, people like me. And they're saying that they would veer or sway from one extreme to the next extreme. Now, I'm glad women did write this. Because I don't know, even normal women veer from extreme to extreme. I call my wife the windshield wiper. Damn, can you stop in the middle somewhere? Don't play this up here. See, I can get away with that because my wife, if she is looking at it, she ain't on but CD number 3 or 4. Just about number 44. By the time she get up to there, I'll be gone. So, but I ain't, everybody know that. That's a little humor. But it said that they go from extreme to extreme. Now this is the key. Ever hoping that one day our loved one will be themselves once more. So what they're saying in reality, this is what I'm getting, is that, and I thank you, Lois, for this, Lois and Annie B. It's like they're saying that we married this person.
Yeah.
You know, walk down the aisle and the day that I always dreamed with the wedding dress or whatever. You know, you can go to the courthouse, it don't matter. This is the person I'm married, and whatever time interval it is, this is what I got. 2 different things. This is what I got, and I have to feel all this in it, all this emotion, and I'm still trying to take care of the needs of what I got, but hoping it will return to this what I had.
That's right.
Got this, but I hope for that. Now that's insanity. But they say keep hope alive. And some go to the bitter end with us. So, and I know some people in here that had the wives. That's why I got to break this down. Maybe you want to let her hear this, because it's beneficial to her to hear this stuff, because we owe them amends. A whole lot, lifelong amends, because they went through it. All right. And I think that it'll be a miracle for anybody who have been with us, and then we did return to our health, did come back and become productive members in the family again, did return back and do what we're supposed to do. That to me is a sheer pleasant miracle. That means we were able to fulfill the hope that they've been hoping for. And we must keep hope alive that way. How's that? But that's just not with the wife. That's with any relative, mom, brother, sister, family members, you know. My wife been on me because she is very, very, very good at the relationship she has with her daughter, meaning my stepdaughter. Very, very good. And me and my daughter is okay. She's encouraging me to spend more quality time and do more things to bring my daughters and my relationship closer. Because in our family, a lot of people been passing off the scene lately, like they've been passing on. And some of them haven't had no kind of relationship with the family, you know? So you're looking out there and you say, okay, I need to improve, you know? Because everybody know my day coming. So I'm working on that. You know, this ain't about me telling y'all, it's about me telling me. So I can understand that hope. That hope. You know what I'm trying to say? And they held on to it. The next one.
Our loyalty and the desire that our husbands hold up their heads and be like other men have begotten all sorts of predicaments. We have been unselfish and self-sacrificing. We have told innumerable lies to protect our pride and our husbands' reputations. We have prayed, we have begged, we have been patient. We have struck out viciously. We have run away. We have been hysterical. We have been terror-stricken. We have sought sympathy. We have had retaliatory love affairs with other men.
And that sounds like this is a fourth step to me. No, but they are getting honest. You know, they're letting the women know, because they're talking to other women whose significant others, or they're talking to men with significant others who's still drinking, that I've been where you are. Then they just list them. You know, and they start listening. Our loyalty, that means being there for them, you know, sticking in there. And the desire that our whole husbands hold up their heads and be like other men have begotten or brought about all sorts of predicaments. By them hanging in there with us, they went through hell. And they had a desire that their husband hold up their heads and be like other men, or be normal, instead of an alcoholic. It seems like the birth of a desire, it seems like people let me see if I can do this right. For me, people had a desire for me to be clean and sober before I had the desire myself. I know I see it in treatment. Guys come into the program in here. Hey, what, 6 guys? You know, 6 guys here. When we had Noonan Street, 4 more. 10, you know, maybe 15, 20 guys at the most. Because some hang around and leave, but still be around the treatment facility. And we know the ones that can do this. That can really, really stay clean and sober. They got it. They don't know they have it. But you know from the outside, from experiencing what you did, that they could do it. So I have developed desires before the client had the desire. And I would tell them, man, you can really do this. Just do the work. You could do it. It's in you. You could do it. I had a desire. They don't have it. They leave. And they get that undesirable reward. Relapse. But I did have the desire before they did. And that's what these ladies are saying. They had the desire before the husband did. They wanted them to be normal. They didn't leave. Now, my first wife, she ain't had no desire. She scared. I don't know about no desire. I'm out of here. She ain't lasted a year. But I believe my wife now, if something was to happen like that, but I don't think it's going to ever happen, because I ain't taking no drink. I don't care what the situation is. But I believe that she will be able to hang. You know what I'm trying to say? My first wife, hell no. She was a hot mess from the beginning. She ain't take nothing. 2 drinks, I'm gone. Our loyalty and the desire that our husband hold up their heads and be like other men have begotten all sorts of predicaments. We have been unselfish and self-sacrificing. They gave up everything for us. Followed our alcoholic thoughts and dreams. For what? We do geographical changes, they go too. Unselfish and self-sacrificing. Now this is just not the wise. You got, some of us have children. When we were using, that were grown up, and they open their house and let us houses with their husbands and stuff, let us come live with them. We have told innumerable lies to protect our pride and our husband's reputation. Be telling that the boss be calling, oh, he's at the hospital. He ain't that on the floor drunk. We have prayed, I always have sympathy for that, and have begged, have been patient. We have struck out viciously, full of anger, want to fight. We have run away. Pack up the kids and gone. You wake up, they gone. We have been hysterical. We have been terror-stricken. We have sought sympathy. We have had, I guess it'd be on Cheetos. We don't have affairs. All right. And they're just explaining what they have been through. So they're not leaving anything out. You know what I'm trying to say? So, because it's going to be people whose husband is drinking. And they're going to say, well, he doing this, and I did this, and I feel. We've been there. It's like the therapeutic addict of one suffering person helping another suffering person. But I don't know if they were alcoholics and that, But at the end of the day, they suffer enough to help someone else who's suffering. Now that's true sympathy. To be able to pull them up out of that. Do the next one.
Our homes have been battlegrounds many an evening. In the morning we have kissed and made up. Our friends have counseled chucking the men, and we have done so with finality, only to be back in a little while hoping, always hoping. Our men have sworn great solemn oaths that they were through drinking forever. We have believed them when no one else could or would. Then in days, weeks, or months, a fresh outburst.
Sound like their emotional roller coaster. Our homes have been battleground many an evenings. Most of the battleground probably come from the fact of us trying to leave to go get some more. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get up out of there. We have I think I did it before, an emotional barometer in us. Like a thermometer. And it's there's a level each one of addicts have that it's like a thermometer, and you got the mercury down at the bottom, and it starts rising up when it's heating and go up. We get to a point where it triggers the obsession, and we got to go use. I remember plenty days, go home from work, saying to myself that I'm not going to use tonight. I'm going to be a good father. I messed up last night, or the night before, or the last weekend. It ain't been too far since I done did something stupid. And I remember very, very clear, vividly clear, of going in the house, everything is where it's supposed to be. Wife in there cooking, the kids doing the homework, the dog running around my feet, everything where it's supposed to be. And I sit there in front of the TV, let's say 30 minutes.
That's right.
And I start patting my feet. We become discontented now. Irritable, restless. I started patting the feet. And then I hear something, clink, clink. What the hell is that? My emotional barometer. That mercury's starting to rise. Then I will create a scene.
Yeah.
Blame it on them. Y'all getting on my nerve. Y'all done hit that point and it triggers the obsession. I gotta go get one.
Yeah.
Gotta go get one. People in treatment. Our biggest problem at Graham Street is not that people wanted you, they don't understand peace. That house is peaceful. It's quiet. It's their home. They come, go home. That damn Robert. I didn't even see them all day. They been on the truck. They'll blame it on me. Or Ken. Or Wayne. Anybody. A donor. And hit the road. Not even knowing that it's their illness. But if somebody don't tell you, don't teach it to you, you gone. So it says that our homes have been battleground, men and even people trying to leave up out of there. And then you got to think about what they do when we leave like that. They got to go through all this emotional stuff that gets talked about. In the morning we have kissed and made up. Our friends have counseled chucking. I had to look that word up. I ain't never used it. I didn't know it exists. That means to throw away or to leave. So they're counseling and telling them, leave them men. Leave, go, quit, get a divorce. And we have done so with finality. It's over. I'm done. You know how they say, I'm done. Only to be back in a little while, hoping, always hoping. That would be a true statement to me of misery love company. Codependency to the max. You did wrong. I know it's wrong for me. I know this is a toxic situation. It's poison. I'm done. Step over here, they gotta go back to the poison and hope that it'll get better. Man, we're doing all that without the 12 steps now, y'all. We ain't got there yet. All right, so it do get better. Everybody looking at me, is it gonna get better? Yeah, the story will get better. All right. Now here's me. Our men have sworn great solemn oaths that they will do drinking forever. That's me. You could have swore I was the Pope when I quit. Pope Robert B. And I meant every word, every cell in my body. I really meant, I didn't know nothing about the disease though. I really meant I was through. Because I wanted to be through. But I didn't want it, the second one, just the first one. And we went on that. We have believed them when no one else could or would. Then, in days, weeks, or months, a fresh outburst. Boom. Back on it. Let me know. All right, go ahead, Paul.
We seldom had friends at our homes, never knowing how or when the men of the house would appear. We could have made few social engagements. We came to live almost alone. When we were invited out, our husbands sneaked so many drinks that he spoiled the occasion. If, on the other hand, they took nothing, their self-pity made them killjoys.
Wow. You know, I explained before that let's take us as users. When we start becoming full-blown addicts, we start withdrawing from life. Family, friends, all these other things. Don't forget Ken, y'all. We start withdrawing. We start withdrawing from life. That makes sense? And you end up being like the book said, the lone wolf. You're alone. You live in a world, but you're by yourself. So these women in Al-Anon, and the wives are saying that because of the husband's drinking, they withdraw from life. That make sense? They became the same as the alcoholic or the addict. They became homeless. Withdrawing from society, relatives and friends and social events and all that stuff, they start pulling back from society or life, just like we do. Then it says, when we were, it said, we came to live almost alone. They withdraw from society. When we were invited out, you know, people want us to come out because they ain't seen us in a long time. They ain't seen them in a long time. Our husbands sneaked so many drinks that they spoiled the occasion. So two things gonna happen if you take us with them. They go to an event, family reunion, or social event, or job, or whatever. If they, if they got a job, or out, two things gonna happen. We're gonna drink so much that we're gonna mess it up. Or on the other hand, if we don't drink nothing, we're going to feel so much self-pity that we still going to mess it up. Any way you look at it, we're going to mess it up. I think we'll stop right there tonight and kind of contemplate this for about a week or so, till next Wednesday. And then we'll come back and we'll probably go a little faster. But I just wanted to hit on how the emotions play into our family members that we don't even take in consideration because we didn't feel none of this. All right, I want to thank y'all for a good meeting. All right.